Yes, this video is real. So, I never really talked about my big weight loss. I've actually lost over 100 pounds twice in my life, and it's just not something that I talk about because I don't really advise that anyone lose weight in the way that I lost weight. So it just tends to be something that I gloss over, and then I say it doesn't really matter how I lost weight. Everybody's bodies are different, which is true. And even if I did lose weight in a quote-unquote healthier way, which I think your weight shouldn't be the defining factor of you changing the way that you treat your body and, you know, eating foods that make you feel optimal and working out for multiple benefits. Not the goal to be losing weight, but to get stronger and to, you know, improve your mental focus and you know, evolve in whatever your own fitness goals are. That's very vague, I know. But I didn't lose weight that healthfully, honestly. And I guess we'll start with my whole video on me wanting to lose 50 pounds to do something on the cruise. So this is the whole story of how this came about, me wanting to like skydive or zip line or parasail or something like way high up in the air in my early 30s. So I have always known I'm fat. Obviously, I've always been fat. I'm not like someone that gained weight later in life. I've been fat always. And I've always known I was fat, but not really. So I don't want to say that I have like body dysmorphia or anything, because I knew I was fat. I can see that I'm fat, but it was never really the thing that was at front of mind for me. A lot of people, their whole life revolves around their body being bigger because it may hinder them in some way. But then there are bigger people like me where it's not something that you honestly think about because it doesn't change anything. It doesn't change the things that you can do. Like, you guys know, I was in gymnastics, and then after gymnastics I was in musical theater, so there's a lot of dancing, and then I was a competitive cheerleader. So my weight wasn't something that I thought about because I was always doing the things that I wanted to do. So when I went on this cruise and I wanted to sign up for excursions, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do zip lining, I want to do parasailing. But then I saw the weight limit was 250 pounds. I was like, oh yeah, I'm probably around 250 pounds because I've never been a person that's weighed myself a ton. Like I said, it just didn't matter to me. And then I went to the gym in the cruise ship, and I got on the scale and I was 340 pounds, which was shocking to me because I didn't feel that big. Like, I think I knew I was getting a little bit bigger, because some things were getting a little bit more difficult for me personally, like getting upstairs and, you know, the things that I used to do with ease. It was just a point in my life where I was in a relationship, I was super comfortable, he was in the music business, so a lot of his hours were nighttime hours. So a lot of the time when we were eating, it was like midnight, 1 o'clock, later in the day, and then or later in the morning, early morning hours, and then we go to sleep. So that was a different habit that I had picked up that contributed to me gaining weight without really thinking about it. And also, it was a time when I was experiencing a ton of vertigo. If you've never had vertigo, it's terrifying. You wake up and the whole room is spinning, and sometimes you can't even walk. Like, I was afraid to get up and shower. You walk, you like can't keep your balance. So I wasn't working out as much as I had in previous years. So I coped the best I could, and the combination of coping and habits, I feel like that's how a lot of people end up gaining weight, is like a coping mechanism they have, with whether that's like emotional eating or whatever it may be, and then habits that we gain or habits that we lose. you know, lead to these changes in weight. So I was 340 pounds and I cried on the cruise ship. And I don't think I was crying because I was 340 pounds. I think I was crying because that was the first time that my body didn't allow me to do something that I wanted to do. So that's where me wanting to lose weight now comes from, which I'm lighter than 340 pounds now, but I want to get around the 250 mark so I can do something that I feel like I missed out on. So I hope that that kind of clarifies why I wanted to lose weight, because people are like, you want to lose weight to skydive, like, or zip line? What? Like, that's a random reason to want to lose weight. But that's where it came from that big cruise ship debacle many years ago. So after that, I did actually lose weight, not for the purpose of doing that thing, but just for I wanted to feel better. So I lost 120 pounds, and I just am trying not to disassociate from this whole thing. I started off, I think, pretty healthily. I had just gone pescatarian and I was working out, and I was just doing like an hour of the bike or an hour of treadmill or something, and I was losing pretty quickly because I hadn't been active in a while. I think around this time I had just started taking like prescription Dramamine and an allergy pill combination that had settled my vertigo a little bit. It hadn't gone completely away, but then once I went pescatarian and cut out dairy, well, cut out milk, I was still eating yogurt, my symptoms of vertigo decreased a lot. So I was able to kick up my workouts and do, you know, the hour or whatever it was of cardio. And then at work, you know, I'd take the stairs instead of take the elevator, little changes like that. I had stopped eating late night, things like that, and the weight had started to come off. And it was coming off pretty steadily, honestly, until around the time that I went vegan. So I had lost, I'd say, about 80 pounds, and I had done that working out an hour, hour and a half. On occasion, I'd work out 2 hours a day and just eating, you know, standard. I think I was counting calories at that time, and I was eating around 1,800 calories, which is just fine. If I were to guess, that's probably around how many calories I eat now. I don't count them, but just in my brain from so many years of counting calories, you know where you are for the most part. Then I went vegan, and I guess since I had already lost 80 pounds, my weight loss was starting to slow. But this is, I think, what people don't understand about weight loss. Weight loss is like such a struggle, and it feels like an accomplishment for a while when you're succeeding. But then when you're not succeeding, you're like, what's happening? I'm eating the same things, I'm working out the same amount, and I had friends that were trainers and had made friends with like the group instructors at the gym and such, and they're like, oh, switch up your workouts, it's just a plateau. So I'd switch up my workouts, weeks would go by, I still wouldn't lose weight, and then you just start to get like frustrated. It becomes this mental battle that's really unhealthy. So you start to cut down your calories. I think I cut down my calories to like 1,650. I still wasn't losing weight, bumped my calories back up, and then one of my friends that was a trainer, she worked with like morbidly obese people, and she told me to take a few weeks off. Maybe my body had just gotten used to the workouts I was doing and such, and so I took a few weeks off, went back, still wasn't losing weight. And then you're like, well, my body's not the boss of me, I'm gonna show it and I'm gonna lose weight anyways. So then I started to kick up my workouts more. So I would work out 2 hours in the morning before I went to work. So I'd work out for an hour on my own. Then I would do the morning spin or the morning body combat or morning body pump class. Those are the 3 class rotations that they had at, 6:30. So I'd get there at 5:30, work out till 6:30, then start my class at 6:30, work out to 7:30, shower at the gym, get ready, and then walk across the street to work. And then after work, I would go to the gym, work out from around 5:30 to 6:30. When the next class started, take the 6:30 class, take the 7:30 class, and then afterwards, if I hadn't burned double what I ate in a day, whose brain thinks, well, I haven't been losing weight and I don't want to cut down my calories, so I'll just burn double of what I'm eating. So basically, you're eating nothing because you're burning off double the calories that you've eaten. So that's 2 hours of working out in the morning and then around 3 hours of working out in the afternoon. So I was working out 5 hours a day, 6 days a week, and then on Sundays, because in my mind then, you guys know I'm in yoga teacher training now, in my mind then yoga wasn't a workout. So I'd do an hour of yoga on Sunday because that was my day to relax. And then I'd go for a walk, a 5-mile walk in the park. So I was walking 5 miles and then doing a yoga class on Sunday because that's my rest day. Those things are rest. Walking isn't a workout. High intensity is a workout, which I've still had to like get out of that mind frame now, like going to yoga and being like, that was a workout, not my brain thinking, oh, that was a rest workout, you know? Because you just get like so in your head about like high intensity is the only way. You have to be doing body combat, you have to be doing body pump, you have to be doing an hour of Stairmaster, you have to be doing a spin class, you have to go as hard as you can because you have to get this weight off. So I did that for, I guess it wasn't that long because I lost my full 120 pounds in 7 to 8 months, which is incredibly quick. Rapid weight loss isn't healthy at all. I started to lose my hair on the sides. I still have really thin hair on the sides. It's never grown back since then. And I would get home from like my 5 hours of working out. I'd shower and then I'd be freezing because my body temp had been up for so long that I'd just be shivering. I'd get home and my mom would be like, you need to go in your room because your teeth are chattering and I can't hear The Walking Dead. Like my teeth would actually chatter and I'd try to like clench them closed and they'd still be chattering and I'd just be freezing cold. So I'd just go home and go to sleep, wake up, do it again the next day. And it's no secret after rapid weight loss that it's very hard to lose weight because your body is so confused. You've basically just put it through severe trauma. And I know that that sounds like dramatic. Oh, the fat girl is saying that she had a traumatic experience from losing weight. But no, honestly, losing 100 pounds that quickly in the way that I did, which was not healthy, burning double the calories that I did, working out 5 hours a day, 6 to 7 days a week, wasn't healthy. And my body, I feel like, is still suffering. I still have trouble with certain things that I talk about here and there, but not a lot because they're not an example to follow. And yeah, I haven't been able to lose weight in like 3 years, and no matter what I do, my body just doesn't want to. And I've talked to my doctors about it and they've said, you know, after rapid weight loss, sometimes it's harder to lose weight, you know? And the statistics for people maintaining rapid weight loss or weight loss over 150 pounds long term are just very low anyhow. I'll give you guys some resources at the end of the video. They're podcasts that you can listen to from registered dietitians, different kind of registered dietitians that kind of talk about rapid weight loss and weight loss in general and how hard it is to maintain, and why we need to move away from diet culture in the diet industry and move towards intuitive eating and health at any size, and realizing that fit doesn't have a size, that healthy doesn't look a certain way, because some life changes just aren't sustainable for people. And I saw it somewhere. Some people are just fat, and realizing that like what you look like doesn't mean that you're healthy or not healthy. Like for example, this is so sad to me. One of my bosses that I really loved, actually the day after I left my full-time job, passed away. And he was so freaking healthy. Like from what we could see, he was super healthy. He played basketball, he didn't eat red meat, ate a pretty much pescatarian diet. We always did our little fist pump together because we were the only two like vegetarians in the room. I'm aware fish aren't vegetables, but you know, he didn't eat fish very often. He was 50 something years old, had a heart attack playing basketball, passed away, and he's like the epitome of what you would consider health. And you guys sometimes see me wear a little pineapple pin. That was from his services. But then you see someone like my aunt, which is my size, and 77 years old, and she's a caregiver for elderly when she's like elderly, you know. We put so much emphasis on health, and like if you're healthy, you're gonna live longer, and if you're healthy, you're not gonna get diabetes, and you're not gonna get heart disease, and you're not gonna die in the middle of a workout. But you might. And a fat person might outlive you. We put health on this pillar as if it's like the end all and be all. And health means that you're thin, and health means that you're immune from everything, but you're not. We're all gonna die. I'm not crying because I'm like the sad fat girl. Okay, I'm done crying now. I have a little of guilt for leaving my team when I did, because this all happened on my last day. We found out that he, you know, had the heart attack and everything, and then my first day not at work is when they called and let us know that he did end up passing away from the heart attack and stuff like that. But we're just given this promise that like health is the end all and be all, and it's not. It's just like, yes, you should try to feel your best and to do what you feel is best for your body, but some people just don't care. And we just want to be happy. I say we because I feel like I'm connected to every fat person, whether they're a person that wants to work out or they don't want to work out. This is me putting my arms around you. Whether they work out, whether they don't want to work out, whatever it is that they want to do with their life, I support them because it's their life and they only have one of them. And I know you're saying, well, a lot of people say, well, their quality of life is decreased if you're fat and you don't get to experience everything that you want to experience. Yeah, there are those few pinpoint things that you don't get to experience, like me, ziplining. But is it a life or death thing? No. So if I get down to the weight where I can do that, yes, I'll be fucking happy. But it's not the end of the world, you know? And I just feel like now I'm so much healthier than I was 2 or 3 years ago, when I would justify burning more calories than I ate. As long as my body could push through to work out 5 hours a day, I would. And it's just so funny, you get caught up in it because people tell you how great you look and how proud they are of you. But it's like, yeah, but inside I'm freaking dying. Like, I smell like icy hot. Every joint hurts. Every bone hurts. Sure, I've lost weight, but I do not feel healthy. I do not feel happy. The one gift that I do have through that whole experience is I fell in love with fitness. Obviously, I was doing it 5 hours a day. I fell in love with fitness, and even though I've gained back a lot of my weight, I've continued to work out, and that's continued to be such a tool for my wellness. So that's like the one gift that came out through that. And you guys, I'm in yoga teacher training now, and I just really want to help transform lives in the right way, and make sure that people have resources and know that like weight loss just isn't for everyone, and just overall wellness is so much more important, whatever that means to that individual. We just have to like respect each other and each other's body choices, and stop throwing around things like, well, you need to be healthy, when health doesn't mean that much. Like, honestly, that's not where I place a value on a person. It's not like, oh, that person's not healthy, so I don't value them. That's just like a really shitty way to look at life and to look at people, because it's a person you're talking about, you know? And their value isn't based on what they look like or what they eat or whatever. And you can't always tell a person's, ever tell a person's health by looking at them. And we get so caught up in like health and fitness, and neither one of these things are binary at all. It's not you're healthy or you're not healthy. That's just not how it is. There's so many things that contribute to health and overall well-being, and the same with fitness. Fitness is very fluid. People's accomplishments are very different within fitness, and people's abilities are very different. So you just have to look at the whole picture. Like I said, I was just in a lot of pain. I was having trouble like regulating my body temperature, starting to have some other health complications, and I don't remember exactly when it clicked, but I was just kind of in the mirror and I was like, man, I feel miserable. But that was like the turning point for me. Like, I actually felt something. I don't know, I think I've talked about this in another video. When I started losing weight, it was right after a breakup, and I think it was honestly out of sheer avoidance. I wanted something else to shift my focus to, and the excessive nature of me working out was lots of time where I didn't have to think. All I had to think about was the moves, and if I could do this better, if I could go harder, and then the high that you get after working out, which is, it just masked everything for me. But I was standing there and I was like, man, I'm in so much pain right now. Like, I feel terrible. But it was cool because I was feeling something, and I felt like for like the whole 7 months, I didn't feel anything during this like whole excessive period for me. And I think I had gotten down to 224 pounds or 223 pounds. And in my mind, I was like, okay, I want to push further, but I've also reached my goal, because my goal was to be my high school weight, which was 240 pounds, 240, 250 pounds. So I had already surpassed that. And, you know, during my whole excessive phase of working out, I had dropped like another 40 pounds. So that put me, you know, around the 120 pounds weight loss mark. I might have already said that, I don't know. And I was losing like 0.4 pounds, which is like sometimes weight, sometimes water weight. And then the next week I would gain 5 pounds, even though my food hadn't changed at all. I was still working with some trainers to like switch up my workouts and beat this second plateau. But I just was so miserable. I was like, I don't want to beat this plateau. Like, I don't care anymore. I'm fine being a size 18, you know, 200 whatever pounds. I'm tired of looking at the scale and freaking out when it goes up 4 pounds, and I'm trying so hard and you feel like you're doing everything right but nothing's happening. It just, you start to like self-hate yourself after you've lost all of this weight. And I remember like I had gotten down to 200 something pounds and I went to Forever 21 and I was like, I'm gonna get my first bikini. And I put it on and I literally cried in the dressing room because I still felt like I looked so terrible. And that's just the thing about weight loss. You think you're gonna lose all this weight and it's gonna change everything. It's gonna change the way you look at yourself. Like, I've lost a whole person and I still hate the way I look. And it took a long time for me to change that view because I was like, I've lost all this weight. I hate the way I look in this bikini. And you know, you think that's the goal, like you're gonna get your bikini body or whatever it is. And I don't feel like myself. I don't feel funny. I don't feel witty. I don't feel like I look like myself anymore. I just didn't feel like me and I hated that. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna try to maintain this weight. I hadn't really spent a lot of time with my friends or family because all of my time was spent in the gym. So I dialed it down to working out 1 to 2 hours a day, depending how I was feeling, and working out 5 days a week, 4 to 5 days a week. And the weight started to come back rapidly. Like, as soon as I bumped down my workouts, my weight came back like that. And my food has always been the same. Well, up until when I tell you what I'm doing currently, it has changed now. But the, you know, 5 days a week, healthy, whole foods. I don't count my calories, but once you count calories for so long, you know what 1,800 calories looks like, you know? Around 1,600 to 1,800 calories, sometimes less because, you know, I have the tendency to forget and then only eat once a day or whatever it may be. So sometimes it's a little bit less. And having the weekends to just eat whatever I wanted. And that's balance to some extent. To some extent, that's balance. Now I think I have a better view on what balance is, and that's why I think my experience with losing weight this time around has been much better. But yeah, the weight just came back rapidly and it won't go away. And I don't give a shit. Like, I love being at the point where I don't care. I'm like neutral. Whatever happens with my body happens, as long as I feel that I'm at like an optimal level of wellness. This time around, Bevan from Queer Fat Femme has a really great quote. It says something along the lines of, the more neutral you can be about changes in your body, the more happy and peaceful you'll be. And I really feel that deep in, you know? And I'm not super connected to hitting my number. If I do, I do. I want to, obviously, but the main goal is really just for me to feel great, for me to be able to master 5 or 6 flights of stairs without huffing and puffing. Oh, that ankle injury. It just really sets you back, you know? And to feel good overall, you know, that's the goal. Sorry, I'm scratching my hair. I had an itch. So this time around, sorry, the light shifting, don't mind that. I am practicing more intuitive eating, and I'm actually trying to be intuitive about it. And what I mean by that is, a lot of the time I'm hungry, but I'm busy. So if you watch the vlogs, you've probably seen this pattern in me that I eat once I get a headache and I'm starving. So and a lot of the time it's, you know, a decent meal, like a nice salad or a Buddha bowl or a burger with a whole grain bun or whatever it is. You know, it's not like terrible amounts of junk, but it's eating once in a day, and it's eating once I'm like ravished. So I'm trying to fight against that. I'm trying to have a smoothie in the morning. That has been something that's been a bit more intuitive to me lately. I just like the cool, refreshing part of it, and it doesn't make me nauseous like eating other foods do. And then just checking in with myself throughout the day. When I start to feel hungry, just eating something, even if it's like nuts or some dates and peanut butter or an apple and peanut butter, eating something instead of waiting like I typically would until it's like 5 p.m. and I have a headache and I'm throwing something together. I just don't feel like that's something that's really good for myself. And I thought that I was like completely past like diet culture, but I feel like I still had it ingrained in me, like during the week you eat this way, on the weekends you have a little bit more food freedom. But now a lot of you guys have been like, oh, I noticed you're losing weight, but you still eat like, you know, questionable things. And I've given myself that like food freedom to eat whatever I want during the week. But I just eat until I'm satisfied. As before, I'd eat really well during the week and then I'd like YOLO on the weekends. But now I just like eat whatever I want at any point during the week, and you know, just listen to my body, see what I kind of feel like eating, and that's what I eat. Another thing that I have been doing is, so that's something that I'm doing. I am only doing workouts that I love. I love yoga, so I'm doing yoga. I love walking. I love walking with my dog. I love seeing her explore. I love seeing her stand up on benches to see what's up there, even though there's rarely anything up there. So I just walk as long as she wants to walk, and sometimes if she's done and I'm still enjoying my walk, I pick her up and we walk together. So I'm just really doing things I love. I love dance, but my ankle still kind of hinders me from doing that. I can't do the jumping. So that's something that I can't do, but I still do dance around in my living room, and I'll break a sweat and I'll pull out my pom-poms and, you know, go crazy in the living room. So that's something that I'm doing now. It's just, I don't know, it's much different, it's much more mature, and I just have a greater understanding now for my body, and I have more respect for my body than to do things that I used to do. And even though I may not ever be down to that size again, and that's not really my goal, honestly, I feel much better and like much healthier. So that's what life looks like for me right now. And I'm really happy in that place. And I do want to share some resources with you guys, as I always do. I just think it's really important to share these types of things because diet culture is so deeply ingrained into society that it's almost second nature. And it's so harmful. So a few podcasts that I listen to are Nutrition Redefined. It's an amazing podcast. She lives in San Antonio, and she's talks about intuitive eating, health at any size, that kind of thing. Christy Harrison, I love Christy. She's probably the sassiest out of all of these nutritionists that I'm going to talk about, but she has a podcast called the Food Psych Podcast. These are all on Apple Podcast, and I'm sure you can find them on your other, you know, podcast places too, but I really love her. The Food Love podcast, I really love that podcast as well. And Christy is a anti-diet dietitian and intuitive eating coach. Rachel Cole, I really love Rachel, and she just had a baby. She's so sweet. Ashley Bennett, she is located in Australia, and she's a body image therapist. So she has a lot of good things on her page about like internalized fat phobia, stigmas surrounding that, chronic dieting, mental health, body image, all of the above and below. I just love all of these ladies, and as someone who has been in the self-love movement for quite a while, I still feel like I'm learning. And although all of them say that intentional weight loss is inherently wrong, I still don't feel that way, because obviously if you're moving your body, if you're eating the way that serves your body, weight loss will happen. It just shouldn't be the focus, and I agree with them when it comes to that. So great people to follow, great voices. Most of them have done so much schooling. They really know what they're talking about, and they've really helped me along this journey. So I'm thankful to them, and I hope that this video was helpful and explains why I don't talk about weight loss a lot, why I never really shared why or how I lost weight before, because it's not something that I would recommend. I hope that this video better helps some of you guys understand that I'm not just trying to live in an echo chamber and finding dietitians and nurses or doctors or reading books that agree with my vision solely. The people that I support and the things that I choose to unlearn, like diet culture, are because of the experiences that I've had. And I know that the ideas are far-fetched to a lot of you, but I hope that you'll at least listen to one of each of the podcasts that I've recommended, because like I say at the end of every video, to keep an open mind. I know it may not be what you believe, and you may listen to the podcast and still not believe in what those dietitians and those nutritionists' visions are, but at least you would have heard it, and you've opened your mind to what some other people may be experiencing and other ways of thinking. Because even if it's not what you're gonna adopt into your lifestyle, that's the beauty of keeping an open mind. It's just being able to understand how other people are feeling and the experiences of others, and that's how we all relate and grow together as a community. Even if we all don't see eye to eye, we understand each other. So I'm done. I feel like this video is probably really long. So yeah, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, remember to keep an open mind, keep an open heart, practice unconditional compassion, but don't take shit from anyone. I love you guys endlessly, and I hope you love yourselves even more. I'll talk to you really soon.